Hey guys, it's Delphine here. Sorry I haven't been making videos in a while. I've just been really busy. So here comes some update videos, guys. So here's an update on Freddy's new cage. As you can see, it's come a long way. I'm in the process of making a video for you guys of how it came along. I've been taking pictures and such of all the steps. So that'll come out eventually. But right now, here's an update. As you can kind of see, it's a little dark. But we have the walls screwed in. Back wall and sides. This front piece is all made up. We just need to attach it to the frame. And then right here is going to be some opening plexiglass doors. We cut the plexiglass. So if I can get this up here with one hand. That's really dirty right now, but it'll be like hinged plexiglass doors. The one thing we forgot to do is we forgot to cut and put in the vents on the walls. So we're going to be hard-pressed to try and figure out how to put those in now that it's already put together, because we really can't take it apart. It's a tight fit to get everything in. They've already been screwed and cinched down really tight. The tiling's going to fit really nicely. 2 tiles fits nice and snug right up to the edge. We just need to do a little bit of... There's a little tiny bit of a gap, but we'll just fill that with some caulk or something. And so yeah, the cage is coming along wonderfully. The only things we have left to do is to put in the lighting. Here's what the lighting is going to be like. This is for the heat lamp. Since this cage is going to be shorter than the current setup I have for Freddy, just because in his cage, you know, the heat lamp sits on top, and so there's a nice gap between him and his log, so he's not right up against the bulb. But I already bought like a bunch of replacement 100-watt bulbs, so I really don't want to have to buy anything of a less strong wattage because there's a shorter height. So what we have here is we attach this to the ceiling, and then we can screw this in, so we can kind of put his basking spot at an angle. This would sit on one side of the cage, say here, on this roof, and then point farther back into the cage, so he's still getting a nice hot heat spot with the spotlight bulb, since it is very directed in one spot, but it won't be as intense as it would be if it was just pointing straight down on him and his log. As you can see, there's not that much room, especially since his log is very tall. There'd be like maybe a couple inches between him and a 100-watt heat bulb. So that's why I'm doing it that way, with it angled, to try and keep him from getting any heat stroke or anything terrible like that. We got the electric cords and the paneling, like I said. That'll look really nice. So everything is coming together great. We have all the supplies we need. We have these hinges that automatically lock when you close them all the way. So we have everything we need. We just need to put everything together. We need to put this front paneling on, like I said, and we have to get the vents in here somehow because he needs ventilation, of course. But yeah, other than that, the cage is pretty much done. We have all the pieces cut, we have all the supplies we need, we just need to throw it together. So I'm hoping we can probably try and do that this weekend, or something like that, and get it finished up. So you can see it's coming along really nice. It's a really nice cage. It's got the 2 big panels there so I can see into the cage. I tried to give it as much of the lip down here as possible, so if he needed some privacy he could hide under here. How I was originally imagining it is that these whole things would be doors, and then the plexiglass would be attached like a window, and you just open it like a cabinet. But my dad planned it so that the actual plexiglass would be the doors, and that's cool too. It'll kind of limit me a little bit here, and being able to reach in because there is this frame here for me to hit. But other than that, it's barely any obstruction. It'll look really nice. So I'm just giving you guys, if you wanted to make it differently where the entire things could open, that works too. Ours just ended up this way because this is how my dad planned for it to look like. There wasn't too much communication there, but I'm totally fine with it anyway. And so that's all the stuff. That's all the stuff that's been happening with the cage. So I'll get you guys a final price, but it seriously was not that expensive. Of course, we didn't have to pay for the shelves because we already had them. So that's another $100 that we didn't have to spend, because shelving of this size, this is a 4 foot by 2 foot, it's kind of expensive, especially since it's nice metal shelf instead of a plastic PVC one. But other than that, it was probably under $100 for a 4-foot by 2-foot cage. The material wasn't that expensive. The only thing that was really pricey is the plexiglass, since it's kind of a thick piece. If you guys were going to do it the other way, where the entire thing is an opening door, you could get much thinner plexiglass for a lot cheaper. You could get like a huge sheet for 20 bucks. I don't know how much this was because I didn't buy it. But other than that, the other supplies were pretty cheap. These vents were only like $1 a piece, if that. You know, the screws were really cheap hinges. Those are supports, really cheap hinges. I don't know how much these were, but I can't imagine they were too expensive. So in the final video for you guys, I'll make sure I have all the prices added up. But like I said, it can't be over $100. If it is, maybe over 110. But it's a really cheap cage, especially for the size. And it's really nice looking. It's got the nice white sheen of something like melamine, which is a much more expensive board. It is thicker, but this is really sturdy, even though it is a really thin board. The supports made it really sturdy, and the fact that it's a really tight-fitting cage helps keep it pretty tight. The only problem we had is that back here, because we attached this back sheet to the bottom wood board here, which is going to be covered by tile in the end, so it won't even be exposed to my bearded dragon. But we attached the back panel to the bottom panel and tried to get that in all in one piece, and it was an extremely tight fit, but it made it. The only problem was you can't really see it, but right where the screws are at the bottom there, it got a little bit cracked. Not really cracked, but like bent, a little warped. But like I said, it's so tight fitting, it doesn't even affect the integrity of the structure. It is a really great cage coming along so far. I'm really excited for it to come through, so I can hopefully purchase my brother his bearded dragon that he's been wanting to get. It's still up for sale from the breeder's page. I'm not going to tell you who. I don't want anyone to be a jerk and go out and buy it, because he'd be super disappointed. It's the only one he's really liked a lot, so I'm really happy to get it. It's an extremely dark brick red bearded dragon, and it's a fairly good price, and it's still up for sale. I'm not going to tell you with who, like I said, but I'm hoping to get this done so I can move Freddy in here. And then Freddy is currently in what is going to be my little brother's room. We're currently redecorating it and setting it back up for him, repainting and stuff, and then he'll be moving in. And then he'll have his own bearded dragon in there. So that's pretty much it, guys. Here's one final look at the cage. As you can see, it's turning out really nice. That second shelf would be another cage. If we got a second bearded dragon, we'd have to build it a bigger cage eventually, of course, and so that's why I have that second shelf. I know it looks really dirty, but it's mostly roach stuff and a few odds and ends, and then the stuff we've been using to build the cage. So other than that, that's my update on the cage, guys. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to get this thing set up. One last thing, I'm thinking about getting some live plants to go in there, maybe like an aloe plant. That's what I've been looking at. I was told that not to get anything else besides an aloe plant because my bearded dragon will try and eat it. And so I need to get something like aloe that would be non-toxic to him if he tried to eat it, or impossible for him to eat. But there are a lot of cool aloe plants out there. So you guys, if you want to help me out with the decorating, give me some suggestions if you guys use live plants in your cage, or if you think of anything that looks really cool, just let me know. I want to set up this cage. I want it to be super cool, and especially enriching for Freddy. I want to make sure that he doesn't just sit around and be lazy. I want him to explore around and to really feel engaged in his cage. So yeah, that's my update, guys. I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe to see more videos.